Welcome to the third video now on how to use the Data Harvest Go software. And previously we started by looking at how you use the tool generally to control a series of outputs on one of these ACEs, these animated control environments. And today we're going to have a look at the Lighthouse one, which introduces this idea of inputs. And once again, if you click on outputs, it tells you which are the outputs in the animation. And in this one we've got the light of the lighthouse, which just kind of circles around. We've got the horn, which I've got my sound switched off at the moment, but when you click on the horn it emits a kind of blast sound that lasts for about two seconds. But also on this one we've got inputs, and we've got the sun as an input, which can be either on or off. Obviously we don't control that input normally. That would, in the real world, outside of the simulation, in the real world the sun controls itself. But for the simulation we can affect the sun as an input, and we can turn it on or off. So I'm just going to very quickly demonstrate how to use the inputs to make the lighthouse respond in a certain way. So as I said previously, I always give your main algorithm a name, so I'll call it main. And this time we're going to say, right, we're going to use the decision box now. We're going to say, right, if, and most of the time we're going to say, is the sun, so is the sun as the input, is the sun on? And if it is on, right, let's just click on that. That's okay, guys. So is the sun on? And if the answer is yes, then what we actually want to do, if we just connect this up, whoops, sorry, I forgot to put the stop at the end and it's making me. We take the output from there, the flow line output, take the output from the yes, and if the sun is on, we go back to the beginning. Okay. I get this feeling I should have perhaps put that in first. Oh, there we go. Put that one in. Okay. So it's just going to loop round. So if the sun is on, it says yes, 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 yes. So it does nothing. It's a bit like the forever loop in Scratch, and you're trying to detect if there's been a particular key press. So forever has the user pressed up arrow, and it's just going to go on forever until something changes, and that something changing will be when we notice that the sun is no longer on. So I'm just going to refresh us how to use procedures. Not quite sure why my box went like that, but there you go. So I'm going to say, okay, in fact, if I move that down a bit, it'll probably make it a bit easier to read. That's better. So if the sun is not on, then we want to switch the sun on. Okay, so if the sun's not on, we want to actually, we want to switch, if the sun's not on, we want to switch the light and the horn on. I'll just switch one of them, but obviously this is just a demonstration, so you can do what you want. So I'm going to use a procedure for that, and I'm going to call it switch on light. Okay, so I've created a procedure called switch on light. Just define that now. So we click on it, if you remember, we tell it it's a procedure, we give it the same name we've just used, switch on underscore light. It has to be spelt exactly the same, and all I'm going to do there is I'm going to say just switch on the light, really. So I'm going to say sorry, got the wrong box. We want the outputs, don't we? So it's the parallelogram we want. And we want to do switch output light on. Okay, I'll just count that up. We need an end, a stop, sorry, or else it'll make me put one in. I think that one's still lurking around, so we'll just get rid of that one. Okay. Right, so let's go back to our, so we've got procedure switch light on, and we've got our main. So if we go back to our main, let's see, does this look complete now? Well, not quite, because what actually happens after you switch the light on? I think really, after you've switched the light on, you want to keep checking to see if the sun is still off, because obviously you don't want to keep the light on if the sun's changed, if it's now no longer on. So we need a flow line that goes from this end of this box up to here. Okay, so that's showing us that now. Now you can play with this layout here, because this is looking a bit messy now, and I'm sure if I put the boxes in more sensible places, we can make this look a lot neater. Like I think putting this down here might help. Not really. Actually, it does help being over there. Okay, so once again, we can run our code now. At the moment, it's not actually doing anything. If you remember, if we set the debug option of following the flowchart, then if we go into any procedures, it will actually show us those. So the only time something actually happens now is at night time when the sun goes off. Now, we're obviously in the simulation of controlling the sun. So if we turn the sun off, we'll see that we've actually managed to switch the light on. Now, your challenge is obviously it's daytime now. The light shouldn't really be on. And there are a series of challenges down here. I've showed us some on the interactive whiteboard in front of you, but if you want some other challenges, or I think probably similar to the ones you've got on the whiteboard, there's some challenges here for you to have a go at. But you're using inputs this week as well as outputs. But don't forget to use procedures, because it does help to make your algorithm easy to read, simple to write in the first place, because you can think about one bit at a time. Have fun.